Hello, Raw family, y'all. Listen, Tammy's my witness. I've been trying to get to you guys. Okay, I
Yes,
have been trying with my heart and my soul to get to all of you. Okay, but we're
she's not
here, right,
lying.
Tammy?
She's not lying. It
We
was a
are here.
struggle.
Oh my
It was
gosh, and
definitely a
Tammy is my
struggle.
proof. I don't. Do I not keep it raw, Tammy?
She really does, you guys. She's keeping
Okay.
it raw, like to the T.
Sweat on my brow. So, guys, this is not Tammy's fault at all. It's Mel's blame. I know we're supposed to start at 7, but your girl rocked it out. Thank you so much to you guys who got here freshly at 7 o'clock. Good for you. We on CP, and we got here at 7:53. But you guys were real ones. We appreciate it. Okay,
Yes,
but we're not
thank
gonna
you.
hold you guys long. We're gonna get right into it because we know we're super late. Okay, so this is Raw Talk with Mello. I have the amazing and fabulous Tammy over here with the cheese.
Hey everyone.
How are you
Hi.
feeling?
Good, good. I'm excited but nervous at the same time, but I guess that's normal.
It's super
Being on
normal. I even
live.
get nervous. Don't worry. I get nervous too. It's completely normal. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is what we're gonna do. How is this all gonna start? I'm gonna tell everybody a little bit about you first, the good
Mhm.
stuff, a little bit
Okay.
of background. I'm gonna ask some questions, let you answer it. Now I'm playing. It's literally gonna be like your age, all that. Once we get through all that, once
Mhm.
I say to you, time to get raw. You are in the line,
Okay. So you want a
my
little
girl,
intro?
and we are going for the question.
Alrighty, let's do it
Okay,
then.
let's start off sweet. First of all, name is Tammy, correct?
Yes, are we
We
interrogating me
know.
now?
I gotta go through
Yes,
the whole flow,
yes,
right?
yes. It's
Okay.
Tammy.
How old
Yes.
are you?
I just turned 31. What are we now?
Hey,
In January? Yeah, 3 months ago. Yeah.
hey, I'm
Sounds
31
weird.
tomorrow. I feel you.
Ah, yes. You're right. You're right.
Okay, and what do you do? What is your occupation currently?
I'm a flight attendant.
I think it's so cool. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna share it, guys. I'm not even gonna try to hide it, okay? This is an old roomie from like university
I
times. We
know.
had
It's been like a long time. I can't even think of it right
years,
now. Yeah.
years, okay? Tammy
Yeah.
didn't see me bruck up, and Tammy's also seen me work through
Yeah.
some things, okay?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh boy.
she's an amazing person. She's really helpful, but she's straight. And I remember that. She's straight, okay?
You were too. You were
Yes, I
too.
was. Yes, I
Yeah.
was. And that's why it worked. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Straight to the point, and that's it. So when I say she's ready to get raw, like I chose a person that can get raw. I'm ready. I didn't put fiery Tammy for nothing, Tammy. All right,
You're
enough of
so
that.
silly.
Time to get raw, Tammy. All right.
Mhm.
So the
Tell
raw
me.
topic of today that we had agreed upon was career selection and self-identity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's so much we could say about it, but I choose to do it the raw way, which is just whipping the question out at you right away. Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So the first one I'm going to go for you is, do you truly believe that an individual's career choice is always a clear representation of who they are?
Yes and no, because
Okay.
the yes part, you tend to choose something that you'll love or you can relate to, or maybe you grew up thinking like, oh, when I grow up, I want to do this. And
Yes.
then you go for it, right? And no, because, at this point, especially in this time in the economy, at this point, you're just looking for any job to pay your bills, making ends meet. So as long as you have like the minimum requirement, you're like, does it have this and that? Does it pay well? You go for it, right? And doesn't necessarily mean that job is them, right? Like it doesn't represent them at all. They're just working whatever to save up whatever goal they're looking for. Like, they're serving
Yeah,
up for
no.
a certain goal.
Yeah,
And so that's why it's yes and no. It's like in the middle,
in the middle.
I
I
would say.
completely agree
Yeah.
with you.
Not
Okay.
fully yes, not fully no.
As somebody who did both, like tried to do the
Mhm.
whole, we're gonna get deep into it, but someone who like did the whole career way, and then real life came and said boop in my head top, and I said, oh, okay, so what's paying the bills?
Exactly. Because just because you're doing something that represents you, is it enough to pay
Right.
what you gotta, to live?
Okay.
So,
And that's where self-identity comes in, which we're about to get into, Tammy. No, I see a little
okay.
fire. I see where it's going.
We're warming up.
We're warming it up. We're warming it up. Okay. But yeah, no, I agree with that because, again, like I had mentioned, I have seen my own self where I was like, this is the career that's going to be for me. This is who I am. I'm an empath. I can work with these people. And then, okay, I'll tell you a quick one. So, when I was in school, I studied youth and children's studies. Thought I was going to work with kids.
What you doing now?
No kids at the workplace. No kids. No, I'm playing. Now I do pretty much PSW work, but it's more CYW anyway, so it still works. The age group, you know what I'm saying when I put it that way. But I thought for sure it was gonna be the career for me when I first got out of school, and I was at a daycare center, and let me tell you, working in the infant section with a bunch of crying babies, I was like, no, this can't be what I did not go to university for this. Crap, this is not it. This is not it. But it paid the bills, right? Okay, let's go a little deeper.
Okay.
What would you say, right, are three major factors? If you guys see me looking to the side, it's because I have to read. I'm not that good with memory, guys. Okay, it's not all in there. I'm sure we all know we're getting up there, and I can't be the only person having memory issues. Don't be act like you're writing things down, Gabby.
Yeah, I'd be forgetting sometimes. But not all the time. I don't know about you, but
oh, shots fired!
I'm just kidding.
No, honestly, mine's all the time. I can't.
Oh boy.
But okay,
let's blame it on the age.
We still young and beautiful, okay? 30s.
I know, right?
Okay,
yeah, for real.
Now, what would you say are three major factors of self-identification?
Three major factors of self-identification.
If you had to put it into like three big parts.
The main ones, like for me, right?
Yeah.
I will definitely say culture. Friend, because culture is like culture is like family, so I'm gonna put it over there. So culture, friends, and society. Society and like your work, like your colleagues, like so,
Girl,
I
yeah,
will definitely
say nothing. That is on point. That is where my brain is at with it. It's literally yourself with it's your upbringing and your culture, and it is literally the friends that you have.
And I believe you're like, so those three main factors, you're like those three different people. You act different around them. We all did it. Don't lie.
We all did it.
Especially with your friends.
Okay. We all know, okay, how we used to be, okay? But you see, when a parent came to visit, everybody was like, yes, we're splendid. How are we doing? We just read our books.
Yeah, we're just studying.
Yeah, you do. And even not even that extreme. There is a completely different Tammy and I guess a completely different Mel when you're at work compared to when you're just with your family and friends.
Exactly.
It is natural. Okay. As long as, and we're gonna get deeper with it, as long as you don't lose your sense of your self-identification by trying to keep up with somebody else's in your social.
Yeah, don't forget your true self. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Okay.
Definitely.
So moving forward a little bit now. Now you're a flight attendant, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I
tell you, first of all, that I'm super proud of you. Let me just do a Mel moment. I'm not gonna cry. I'm very proud of you. Because I remember studying and I remember you working really hard. And I feel like a flight attendant is a cool job. Tammy, you were working your butt off. I don't think I barely ever saw you home.
You're right. You're right. You bring me
flashbacks. Working. Yeah. I'm really proud of you. I'm not gonna cry. I'm very proud of you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
I'm still emotional. That part didn't go away.
That. Okay. I know. I remember we used to cry here and there. Oh man, I miss all my roommates. Like when we had like that house.
That house was crazy, in a good way though.
Yeah. Crazy fun.
It was. Okay, sorry y'all. It's a little nostalgic for us. Okay, we haven't seen each other in some years.
That's too, right? So we're meeting for the first time in a long time, like today, pretty much.
Literally like over 5 years.
More, huh?
Yeah.
It's been more.
More than that.
It's been like almost 10 years. We're in 2023.
We graduated 2015.
Yeah. Oh, snap. You just gave it away.
We can do
But
this over cocktails a
we
different
already said how
day.
old we were, so it doesn't matter.
True. True.
So it doesn't matter, but it's
Your girl
almost
was
10
born in
years.
92. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been
So back to the question now. Did you always see yourself as being a flight attendant? How did you know that that was the career for you? Did you have like an epiphany moment or like it just happened?
Girl, did I see myself as being a flight attendant? No, you just told me that, I used to work so hard. I was not working hard to be a flight attendant. Definitely not. Okay. If you have the same mom as my mom, you would know.
We
No,
know.
flight attendant was not in the books, in
So
the
how did it
household.
happen? How did it happen?
Girl, it was a friend of mine. Like when I went to school, she told me about it. Not university, it was a school that I did afterwards. It's Humber. I went to Humber,
Mm.
and she was working as a flight attendant, and she wanted to change her career choice, her career. Like, and I was like, oh, well, that's amazing that you decided to change career path. But then she was like, but you should apply. As we're both doing the same program, she's telling me to apply.
Why not?
But me, I'm looking at it as, oh, does it pay well? Because I was in school, and like as you said, I was working really hard, and so I was working still, going to school.
I get
And she was like, yeah, it pays well. You're bilingual. You're well with people. You do the like. I think you should look into it. So
Mm.
me, I wasn't really looking into like what they do or what it entails. So I just applied, and ever since then, here I am
But
working
don't you
as
love
a
it
pilot.
though?
But I love it. But a lot has changed since the pandemic. Like now that we're trying to get back to normal, as much as we can get to normal, a lot has changed. Like people left the industry so we're lacking. We're short staffed in different departments, so it's hard on those that are there,
Wow.
making the hours even longer because of the
Yeah.
delays. So it's not as fun anymore. Like I just look forward to coming back home or sleeping at the hotels, because we
Yeah.
stay at hotels when we don't go back home.
That's kind of a little nice.
So yeah, I know exactly, right? Yeah, yeah. But it used to be, I mean, it's still fun, but it used to be even more fun. So, but to come back to, yeah, exactly. So I ended up being a flight attendant because of a friend of mine who told me about it. It's like as if she was recruiting people, but she wasn't. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just remained it because it's paying my stuff. And
But you know what? I don't believe anything is ever a mistake. Like we don't meet people by accident. I stopped believing that at like 2 years. We
yeah,
don't. Like for some reason
exactly.
you were supposed to hook up with her that day and she's supposed to put a little bug in your ear like, hey, flight
Yeah, like
attendant.
it'll
Like,
help you.
yeah. And
But
now
I
you
thought it
have
was supposed to be I thought it was a short term, like a short help, but it ended up it's almost like a long term now. But we'll see. Who knows?
we'll see
But
how it goes.
for now,
I think you're gonna stay. But
we'll
we'll see.
see.
We're gonna see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's just a little mellow thought. We'll see. Okay. The reason why I asked that again is because, like I had mentioned before, I remember you working really hard, and you said it yourself, girl. I wasn't working that hard to be a
Yeah,
flight attendant. You really
exactly.
don't know where you're going to.
Yeah,
End up. You don't.
definitely. 10
You
years
don't.
ago, I would have never guessed I was gonna be a flight attendant. I thought I was gonna go what I went to school for, right? Which is what everyone thinks and hopes, right?
Yeah.
Like you go to, why am I paying for school for a program if I'm not going to work in it? So that's how you thought, right?
Right.
But it's not even like that.
It's really.
It's not even like that.
Thank you for keeping
Don't
it
think
raw.
like that. Don't think like that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Thank you, because there's a lot of young
Yeah.
people out there that I feel like, well, they were us. Our parents went through it too, and you feel like that's the way it's gonna go. That is not that it can't happen for some people. It does, but
Right.
for the majority, it's not how it
You know how
goes.
many times we change, even after you graduate, even if you go working in that
Yeah,
field, maybe 5, 10 years. I mean, I'll be shocked if you do 30 years and then you decide to change your career path. But
you'd be
down the
surprised.
road, yeah, you're right. Down the road, you're probably gonna change 2, 3 times
Oh yeah,
your job, like,
oh yeah. I
and it'll be
left the whole CYWC.
completely, yeah. Not
Mhm.
like in the department itself, because a lot of people change within the department, like to change around. But I'm talking about like a whole, like you went from a doctor and you became like a cop, or say, for instance. Like they will
Like
change
drastic.
at least 2, 3, yeah, drastic.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow. You know how many flight attendants were like nurses or
Oh yeah.
doctors, lawyers.
Let me tell you something, okay?
So
Okay, so at one point I was doing warehouse work because you guys don't really know, but Tammy knows. Like to me, work is work. I'll get it done.
mhm,
At
mhm.
pizza shop, convenience store, but I get it done. Okay,
Getting the money.
I'm never too for any job. I've never been. But I remember when I was working at warehouse at one point when I was still schooling, I was like in between, and I was like, I don't really want to get fully into a career. And then what if I choose to leave? This is quick. It's easy. I can control it. Anyway,
Right.
the amount of people that had bachelors and masters that were working in that warehouse just because they didn't want to do what they went to school for anymore, I was
Wow. And
like
what was the reason? Yeah.
highly educated. People assume that because you're in warehouse that you can't. No, there's a lot of people who are just like, I didn't want to do what I was doing anymore, and I
Exactly.
had
And
to pay my bills.
that's what I
Like,
was gonna say. What was the reason? It's because they're saving up
yeah.
for whatever their goals,
Mhm.
whether if it's to go back to school, but because you're not working in that field anymore, like you gotta find ways to go. You don't want to pick up a loan. You don't want to take out a loan.
No,
You want to do it on your
don't
own.
do it.
Yeah, don't take out a loan. Don't. It's a scam.
It's a scam. Take
Don't
it
do
from
it.
us. It's a scam.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. But what I do want to okay, wait, because we're gonna get to it. Because I was about to touch on something, but we're gonna get to it. Okay.
Okay.
And it's literally the next question, which is what do you think your career of choice now, Miss Flight Attendant, okay, booking flights, walking around your little I see you guys in the office with a little scarf. You guys walk out your bags all like in unison.
It's,
It's so
girl, my
cute.
feet hurt. It's not even like that.
But you
I'm
have to
just
wear
trying to.
heels.
Yeah, you
Oh
do.
girl,
Like at
no.
least a certain like there's a minimum. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. In the airport. Yeah.
Oh wait, you gotta wear the little grandma heel?
If you want, but shoot, and the
I know
more
Tammy don't
the
wear those
high
heels.
the higher you go, you can tell over the years. Like your first year, you're like, oh, I can do this, and then over the years, there's like a meme. Over the years, it goes smaller and smaller and smaller. Because you
So
gotta
where
think
are you at
about your
right now?
feet. Imagine, I'm probably halfway, but I'm wearing the thick ones because I started with the skinny ones, and now I'm wearing the like that's what's in now too. You know the block
Yes.
heels. Those are
A
what's
lot.
in. They're cute. So it's
Yeah.
cute,
Trying to also
but
save our ankles and our toes. Ladies are trying to wear
exactly,
save our
because you
feet.
gotta walk with them all
Yeah.
day, especially if yeah.
Holy. I must say
Mhm.
though, you're brave to be rocking a stiletto on an airplane. Shoo shoo.
No, you can't even do that.
Like,
They don't
so
train
clumsy
us,
on the
huh? They
drop.
don't train us to balance, huh? I hope people
No.
know that. You'll be
Okay.
surprised what people assume that we do.
I just think it's so cute. Every time the second I found you were a flight attendant, I just saw this.
Like the scarf
Like
fly.
I
I
saw
don't
right
have
up.
that scarf. I used to have that one, but now it's a clip. So I know we used to do whatever you wanted. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe in a few years they'll change it back.
Bring it back, Tammy. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Okay,
We'll
sorry.
see.
But yes. What do you think? Sorry, guys. Tammy and I naturally get sidetracked. This is how it's been.
We easily
So
do.
just try to stay with us, okay? We're dropping gems while
Really
we're doing
do.
it. You gotta just
Yeah.
you gotta pick up on it. Okay, so again, what do you think your career of choice now says about your identity in real life? What do you think being a flight attendant, that label, says about you?
I think it's pretty much what I've always been, like a caring, nurturing person. Like I always used to always like helping people because even like when I went to school, I went for child and youth worker.
Yep.
So it was always about like helping others. Whether
Mhm.
well, for me at that time it was like younger kids, but now I'm seeing everyone, and I think that's what helped me get the job too. So young kids,
Mm,
I see kids, elderly, grown ups.
yeah,
Sometimes the grown ups are like kids. I'm just
kids.
kidding. But I would definitely say
Keep it
this
raw.
job really is like who I am today. Even like outside of work, I'm still that person, like, you know? So nurturing, caring, I would say.
I haven't seen a change. Not saying that you haven't
Yeah.
grown as an individual. I just mean that overall caring,
Yeah. It's
standing, like always there to lend a hand. That's always been you. And I
yeah.
remember, but it is
Oh.
true. Adding,
Yeah.
Tammy, stop. We're not gonna be emotional in front of these people. Tammy's trying to make me shed tears, guys,
No,
because she
I'm
knows.
not. That's not
Oh,
my
let me
goal. No, no.
just fan the face a
She
bit.
has the towel ready. Oh, okay. I said she has the towel ready.
I see you guys keeping it raw. Tammy knows I had a hat on not too long ago because
Oh, okay. Mm.
We're gonna leave it at that, Tammy. That's enough raw for the people, okay? Enough raw for the people. Okay.
Oh
Yeah, no.
boy.
I mean, if it was somebody on the outside looking in at you, like I said, I just thought it was just like so stewardess and like cool and like nice. But underlying, I just kept thinking to myself, like, she's literally being Tammy. She's checking on you if you need something. She's want to get you drinks. She wants to make sure you're good. But she also got that snap that if you try to get smart with her on that airplane, okay? But respectfully.
You just
Okay.
described me. There you go. Like, that's really what it is. The safety part. Like, make sure you got your seatbelt on. Like, that's the serious part, right? It's safety's first, right? So
Tammy has this look, y'all. Her eyes does this thing, and she even makes the eyebrows follow through. And she does this thing where she's like, and when she gets that look, you just feel like, okay, I put on my seatbelt.
Why do you know me so well? Because I've been telling people like it's my face. I don't even need to say anything. It's the face expression, and I didn't even realize that's what it was. Like you just described what it is.
It's here up, trust me. It's here up.
Really, that's what I'm saying. When we used to wear the mask, oh man.
See, you probably did it, and they were like, "Okay, no problem," and you were like, "How?" It's the eyes. Okay, going forward here. Okay, so I want to ask you this question. I tweaked it a bit because I'm talking to a woman. But did you? Sorry, guys. Quick inside joke. Apologies. Do you agree with this statement? The job isn't made for the woman, rather the woman is made for the job. And by that, I just that like, do you feel like you set yourself up like going to university or that you create yourself for a specific role and that's the role that makes that job? Or is it the other way around where jobs are just made and you have to fit yourself into them? Like, are you made for it or is the job made for you?
I think you're prepping yourself up for it, like, because you're building like your CV or resume for that job. Because you're like, okay, what do I need? Like the prerequisites, right? Requirements.
Right.
So you're prepping for that. So what would be the way? Because now I kind of got confused. Like,
sorry. So okay, like so for me, like the way that you said, I understood. But for like devil's advocate, I'll play on the other side. How I looked at that too was like, what if, because we're kind of saying like what you go to school for isn't always what you end up really doing.
Right.
So for me, the way I looked at it was like, I disagree with the statement. No, I agree with it because I feel like the job is there and it's made for the specific person that it's supposed to fit for it. But I don't feel like we are made to sit there and make ourselves mold to a job. Okay, for example, you remember being in school and you saw a lot of the... Wait, I was about to say something and I felt like that could have sounded bad. So there's shirts.
What? At least you caught yourself.
I was about to throw a certain ethnicity out, but it affects more than one culture, and that's why I caught myself. But in certain cultures, I remember seeing certain kids where they have to be doctors. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
They have to be nurses. Yeah. They can't be anything else because that's what their culture wants. But what if that person if it's not made for them? Like that job is not made for that individual. That's kind of how I look at it. Like, okay, great. According to my parents, I was supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer. Okay. Me. Lawyer. No, I knew that wasn't going to be for me. I think I'm too emotional for both of those jobs. Just be, you have to know yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how I looked at it on the opposing side. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, like when you see, like when you go more deep, more in depth and giving other examples. But I think I was looking at it I am looking at it as like, you know, how the certain ethnicity, they were like, oh, you have to be that way. So they were prepping themselves for that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I agree. It's tough because it's like, there might be a certain job you're prepping yourself for it, but that doesn't necessarily mean like how I think I'm repeating it. That doesn't necessarily, how do you know you're going to get it?
Facts.
You're prepping yourself and you're focusing yourself so much on that one, like being a doctor for that example that you said. And what if you don't get it? What's going to happen?
I've seen it. They literally have breakdowns. They don't know what to do.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else because it was like this.
Tunneled.
Yeah.
You get it? So essentially, guys, from what I hope you guys got from what our back and forth was, don't do that to yourself. Don't feel like one career for you. That's
There
not the
isn't.
case.
No, yeah.
I almost think that like there's like 10 careers that everybody has access to, and it's just whichever one you really end up falling into. That's almost how I look at it.
Yeah.
Everybody has a multiple of 10 to choose from, and whatever you end up falling into. Because also sometimes you can feel like something is completely right for you and you study for it like crazy. And it's not that you don't get in, but then once you got in, you no longer like it.
Yeah. Was it because you enjoyed prepping up for it? Was that the part that you probably enjoyed? And
Yeah.
then now that the real deal is here, is that what you really wanted to do?
I'm going to say this and tell me if you agree with it. There's a big difference between hearing about your career and then actually working in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Big difference.
definitely.
They can tell you all the time, oh my gosh, being no, I won't say that because that's my career. You're like,
You
oh,
use something else.
great. And then you
Like,
get there and you're like, I don't have patience for children. Like stuff like that, right? Like it depends.
and we were kind of taught that way too, right? Even all the way back to high school, like how you said, doctor, lawyers. Why was it always like the top four choices? Like that was it.
Why?
First of all, I've never heard of a flight attendant like pop up like that in
Ever.
school. It was always like doctor. This is what you need to be a doctor. Like they that's what I'm saying. They try to prep you like you got to go to this school or you're going to have to go to these top four schools. And but each top four schools, you're gonna need this and this and that. You're gonna have to write the MCAT. You gotta have to do this and then being a lawyer. There's different types of lawyers. You're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to do that. What do I need? How much do they make? Like it was all about research. Because I remember I wanted to be a criminal lawyer. That's how I went to criminology. That's how I went to Wilford for into criminology.
I remember Crim.
And and then I was like, oh no, that's too competitive. Like, no, do I even want to do that? And then I was like, okay, I want to work with kids. And then I was like, oh. And then that's when the girl told me about the flight attendant, and now I'm here. But yeah, and you're probably doing that job because just because your dad is a doctor, say for instance, or your mom is a doctor, that doesn't mean you like it. And just because they're saying, oh, but the whole family is a doctor, but we're not the same people. Yes, you're my dad. Yes, you're my mom, but
that's not the case. That's a whole different topic of parents that live through their kids. Whole different topic.
Okay.
We ain't getting there.
My
But
bad. Like
how I'm attaching it is a lot of kids, they don't live through their parents, they live for them.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. Okay, because my father's father was a politician and my dad was a politician.
Now you have to be it.
But you hate it. Like
Exactly.
you're just forcing yourself.
Why
right?
you want to continue that trend? Is it because it's cute that it's a trend? It's
right?
like, no.
And it's also this whole idea they call it a matrix. This whole idea of like they try to program your mind from early when you're in school. This is how you go about it. These are the jobs to go for.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And you have to almost deprogram yourself and be like, hold on. No, these are the top ones that you guys say are the top ones for your standards in your life. It's not the top for me.
But they only learn that as they get older, and because that's the family, you know, the self identity, and then when they get into the friends group, you meet a whole bunch of friends, and then they start telling you about because that I'm not gonna say my path, my life was like how you're explaining it, but it was almost that way. Like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna go all the way to getting a PhD. Like, I was supposed to have a PhD, and I only have a bachelor.
Yep.
And then you know, I met more friends and they were like, oh, but there's different ways, there's different opportunities, there's different ways to getting a job. Because my mind told me how I grew up was like, if you don't have a degree, you're gonna be nothing. And I was like, oh damn, like I can't not have nothing. Like, you know, I gotta go get my master's too. And then when I got older, I'm like, wait, you don't really need all that. And now even like Humber is a college, but it's programmed in the way where like school jobs only wants you to have like, let's say, a degree from Humber, and then you can still get the same job if you had a master's. They're changing. Society is changing so much. Like even the schools.
When were they ever going to let us know that after you do all of this university and you go and apply, they say, what is your experience? And you say, theory books.
Exactly. No hands-on experience.
Oh, I ended up
then
going
you're like
to college after and everything still because they don't talk about it, but they do want the hands-on and you do kind of have to show experience. So I did have to attend a college after. So, you know, okay.
Exactly.
Let's push forward a little bit more here. Tammy, guys, Roz, I hope you guys are watching and enjoying this. Tammy, you're doing good. You're keeping
I
it.
hope they are watching it.
You're keeping it raw, girl. I appreciate it. I like it. I like it. I like when people don't get like nervous. They're like, okay, wait, maybe like no.
Yeah, I'm not nervous anymore.
I can tell.
Because you
I
kind of
saw
can relate.
the whole face decide to just relax. I saw it.
Okay.
No, I'm playing. Okay. All right. Next question. Okay. So, the next question we already touched on, so I'm just gonna skip it. Is essentially, did you find attending WU help shape your identity, or did you identify your identity yourself? We did it. We just did that with them. Okay. So again, we talked about culture. So my question is, why, not how, but why does culture play such an intricate part in one's career choice? For example, right? Did your mom, which I'm sure she did, freak out when she heard you're going to be in the air for your whole career?
Well, she didn't like freak out. She was just like, what? I thought you were studying to be a child and youth worker. Like, why are you going to go do that? But in the beginning, when I applied, it was because I told her, I'm like, well, actually, it's just because, I need to pay my bills and that. I didn't say I wasn't going to do it for a long time. I just said, oh, it's just to pay myself. Like, I'm just finding another job, right?
Yeah.
Because the job before that, it's two different jobs. The job before that was a receptionist at a car dealership.
Yeah.
So it was part-time. Do you see the difference? So I was and I tried to convince my mom, but look, this job is gonna have benefits, dental. Like, I was like, I need to go to the dentist. Glasses, I wear glasses. But she was like, but aren't you gonna finish school?
Sorry to cut you. I just want to put it out there for anybody else who's young and listening. Okay, a lot of jobs right now, in case you guys are noticing, are starting to take away the benefits aspect. I don't know if you've noticed, but they have.
No.
Can actually do, which I had to learn, is you can actually go and pay and do your own benefits yourself separate. So say you find a job and it's everything that you want and they just don't do benefits, you can still work that job, but pay like how you would pay regularly out of your paycheck and pay like an actual, I think it's like service on care, like that, and they will still do that for you.
Yeah,
so just to have,
right.
All right, Tammy, go on. I just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah, that's good though, because I didn't know they were starting to remove it, but I did know that you can, get a private insurance. Right?
Yes.
Because don't let that,
stop you
from getting that job, right?
Yes, so I track you.
Yeah, but so she was a little bit disappointed, right? Because she was like, well, you need to finish school. But the cultural part about why is it such a big impact?
Yeah.
I think it's because of where you live, like how you grew up, the community, well, the beliefs, your moral, what you believe in. Like you grow up thinking one way and like you fear, there's certain jobs where you can't go that way because of the judgment. Like you fear your community is gonna judge if you went. I can't think of an example, but if you went and became, I don't want to use my job either, but
no, don't use it.
If you went and became working as a cop because like you don't believe, like your community doesn't believe about doing harm to others, but the police officers are here to serve and protect, right? Like that's their their statement, right? Each job has their own statement. Each job has their own values, right? So that's their right. We all believe like, okay, I thought you were supposed to protect and serve, right? But they that community is probably gonna think like, no, they're here to harm people. So don't go there. Don't become that. You need to be like a lawyer, say for instance. And also why culture is such a big aspect in people's career choice. I think it's also because maybe they don't have enough resource. Like maybe they're only giving a certain amount of resources. So when they come and give you this and you're like, this is what we have. This is the only thing that you have or the fundings that you'll be able to do, go for.
Right.
So then you believe, oh, unfortunately, I'm going to have to use this. Like, oh, I can only be a nurse? Yeah, because you only have enough money to become a nurse because it's only a 3-year program and then you can go right into it. Right. Same thing for any other job, like a mechanic. Like, it's almost like, I'm not going to say it's the easy way out, but it's almost like it doesn't involve a lot. I don't know for nursing. I don't want to say something I don't know, but there are a lot of jobs where you don't require a lot of schooling. So people tend to go where, what requires less schooling because I need to get to this job quick. And
No,
so
you're
that way they
keeping
don't
it
have to
raw.
take out a loan.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, well,
I
it
think
kind
the
of
majority of the
merges.
world right now
It
is
merges,
working a job that they don't want to work based off
and it
exactly what you just said.
exactly it merges. Yeah, because you were only given that, and then as you grow older again, you know, the opportunity.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You said the biggest thing that when I thought about that question, it came into my mind is the fear of the judgment of the people of your culture.
Yeah.
Um, someone for me, like for example, my grandmother plays a big part in my life because I also grew up with her, raised by her a lot, but I also never want, just like you don't want to just put your mom and your dad, your grandma is like, especially in my culture,
Even
I'm
the time.
Jamaican background, it's like that's an elder, don't you ever. You make that woman happy, you make sure she is respected at all times, make sure she doesn't want to
Exactly.
look
Don't
down
be
on you for
stressing
nothing.
her.
Like when she speaks, you better like that is the culture, okay? And the fear, I remember at one point being like, I don't want to go to school. Before I met you and came to W, I was like, I don't want to go to school. And I remember thinking, I want to be an entrepreneur. I would rather just save, not have years of school debt. I would like to just build myself up, work a job, even whatever job it is, and just work on my baby and build that up. That was my mind. But again, the culture, the fear of my dad went to school. My mom went to school. My mom went to school for law, for crying out loud. Like for me, it was like, how am I? And at the same time, I'm having this thought of how am I supposed to tell them that like, I don't want to go to school right away, right? And also my older brother, he didn't really finish school either. So I also felt that heaviness on me, like, okay, well, one kid didn't, you better, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had that fear. And it's crazy too, because I don't know if you remember, I don't know how your parents were, but like when you're starting to look for schooling, they're all in it. Did you apply? How many schools did you apply to? And it was just so much pressure that I just gave in. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to university. But it's not what I wanted to do.
Girl, my mom did it with me. Like we applied. So what do you mean? Were they on me? She was right there.
All up in the computer.
I don't know how many schools I applied for, like the university. And before university, I went to college, which is called Cégep in Quebec, which is required you had to attend before going to university if I was staying in Quebec. And I didn't even apply for that. Like my mom applied it for me. Like after high school, it was the only school, by the way.
Oh,
and I was like, well, what if I don't get in? No, you're gonna get in.
Oh, okay.
True. But I did get in. But I was like, true. I don't know who she spoke to, but just kidding. No, but I was but still, because I was like, wait, everyone had plan A, B, C. Everyone was asking me, like, where did you apply? I'm like, oh, like, because it wasn't I went to high school outside of Canada. So everyone was like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going back to Canada, like my hometown. Oh, okay, but how many schools did you apply to? I'm like, only one. They were like, who applies to just one? I'm like, I know, but it was my mom. Like, so I didn't really have a say. I didn't have a say. Not really. I didn't have a say. So.
And that is literally culture. Like people they don't want to be like, no, it's not. It is. Okay.
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
I thank her, but I mean, when you look back, I was like, if I had applied, maybe I would have applied to other schools as well, just in case. But she just went for it. But I
mean, that was your life path. Because who knows? Maybe you would apply to a bunch of other schools and they were like, no, or you ended up going there and you're like, this isn't for me. Like,
my mom knew.
Nothing.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm glad you understand what I mean by that fear.
Yeah, we pretty much had almost the same thing. I thought even during the Cégep, I wasn't doing so well because, it was a drastic change in the sense of, yes, I was moving back to Canada, but I was leaving all my friends, right? As you get high school was like your friends, right? Yeah. So I wasn't really doing so well. And the same thing, I was like, I don't want to really go to school. And I told my mom, like, maybe I should open my own candle. It was like Bath and Body Works. I wanted to open that. Like, maybe we should have a friend. And my mom was like, excuse me? I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go back. She's like, no. Like, no. You're not going to go do that. Like, you're going to school. You're going back to school to finish. Yep. And then, like, but I don't even think the conversation went longer. And I couldn't even reason. I just wanted to let her know. I was like, but I just want to, okay.
Yeah, even that, to just be like, okay, mom, I want, okay. Like, even that is like draining. Like, oh, okay, mom, but I can actually think for myself. Oh, with all due respect. With all due respect. And I just want to say that I don't want to, no, okay, okay.
But I just, but if I bring it up now, like if I tell my mom, oh, I was thinking about opening, she'll be like, oh, that's interesting. You should do that. I'm like, but if I had did it like 10 years ago,
life would be different right now. This would be skyrocketing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. But for them, again, it's like, my baby went to school. I can just tell the aunties and the uncle and everybody that my baby went to school. And it's like, okay.
Exactly.
But yes, and you thank them, and you thank them in different ways. But it is tough at the time. It is.
Yes. It is. Yes.
Okay. Let me go for a little bit more here. We got 2 more. I'm keeping it light. I'm not gonna grill you too hard.
Okay, because maybe my mouth is a little bit.
Hey, go ahead. Listen, I'm a little parched myself, but the water's been around the corner, and I don't want to leave the screen, so I've just been drinking this real quick. Yeah. I still guzzle water. Like, I used to go through, I still guzzle water.
Which is good. It's good.
It is. Okay. So if a young one, being like, who we used to be, okay? Mm-hmm. We still young, but I mean like young.
Yeah. Okay? Younger.
If a young teenager, one in university or college asked you this question, if I don't end up choosing the career that I went to school for, am I a failure? What would your response be?
Girl or homeboy, no, you're not. Don't ever think that. Don't take that out of your mind. No. Look at me. I'm not working in what I studied. Mm-hmm. And we just finished telling you, that's like how long ago did we graduate? Like almost 9 years.
Overnight.
And I'm okay. I'm not saying I'm happy, and I'm not saying I'm sad. Like, I'm sad, but I'm okay. Like, do I regret going this path? Not at all. It's all about a learning experience. And I'm just out here, you're exploring and you're seeing, like, this is your life, right? You only have one life. Don't stress about that. Already when you're in school, you're stressing about, studying with your exams and everything. And that don't ever think that.
Yeah.
And if you do end up graduating in that program, and then the program that you first started with and going to work in that field, if you don't like it, you can still switch. It's not the end of the world. Not at all. There's different ways around it, especially now we're in 2023, but especially in 2023, there are ways, because you can use a lot of those credits that you went to school for a different program, say for instance. But you're not a failure, and don't let anyone ever tell you that. No one, like even your family member, your own self. And you can, if you're old enough to make your own decisions, by the way, then go for it.
Yes. Do not allow family.
Because you will regret it. You will regret it, and you will not be happy either. There's a lot of people working in their jobs and they're not happy, and then they're like, well, you know what? I'm at the point where it's too late, because they're reaching almost like the pension plan, which is, after 25 years, after 30 years, when you retire, then they get that pension plan. So it's too late.
I don't want to let it go. And I get that.
And they don't want to, because you think they're going to they won't have time to do another 25 years. And unfortunately, they won't have time because they're going to reach retirement. Yeah. So if you're in it for 5 years, 10 years, okay, you can switch. But yeah.
Other than that, that's
not a failure at all. You might boom. What you decide to do afterwards, you might do even better if you had stayed in that program. You will be even greater at what you decide to do too. So you never know. We're so creative nowadays. Everyone is so creative. There's so many different things. Especially now that there's more resource. I'm going on and on. Especially now there's more resources. There's more resources online. Everything is all online, digital. Like, it's unbelievable. Even like our time, and it's not even that long ago. So I shouldn't even say our time, because it hasn't been a different century. But I mean, even like when we were in school, it wasn't how it was right now.
At all.
Like online courses, we used to think online courses was if it was part of the program. Like, it's an online course. But ever since the pandemic, isn't that crazy? But ever since the pandemic, now they're saying your classes will be online, but it's like two different things. And you remember
Yep.
night school? Night
Woo!
school used to be night school where for
Yes.
like adults or like for adult education. But
Yep.
now they offer it for people as well, like, you know, after work, whether you're young,
Yep.
whatever age.
You know how
And
helpful that would have been when we were working our butt off to be able to go to
exactly.
that
It
night?
didn't, it couldn't, or even speaking about work, you know, back
Working from home?
then they didn't believe in that. I remember I read, I don't know if it was an article or something, but I will never forget it because when they talked about saying, oh, people can go to work from home now, I thought that was crazy because I remember I read somewhere where people were saying there was a statistics that said that, you know, whatever certain statistics preferred having Fridays off as well. Like they
Mhm.
believe in having a 4-day
4-day week.
work,
Yes.
and then,
Yeah.
you know, having a longer weekend, but
Right.
obviously that didn't happen. And then they also believed, like, no, I remember someone was like, yeah, I was trying to see if I can work from home, but I remember my boss said that, oh, that's not possible. But why did they have to let a pandemic happen?
For that to
Suddenly
happen.
they can bring it because they told them, oh, it'll be hard for us to monitor, like how we're gonna know you're working from. But we did it for like 2-3 years. Now there's a poll going around saying, do you want to come back or do you want to stay home?
They hope. Thank you.
So why? So much has changed. Like it's crazy in those
Mhm.
3 years now, like, or 4 years, because from that 4-year mark prior was different now from the 3 years now.
Yeah.
And all in all, homegirl, homeboy, no, don't ever
You're not a
feel you're not a failure.
no.
There's
I
so
agree.
many
You're not a failure at
different.
all.
You will find your way. You will find what
Mhm.
you believe is right. As long as you know, as long as you're not putting yourself in danger or harm or anything like that,
Right. We're on
you
the street.
will.
I mean,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
do
yeah.
this.
That's what I'm
Don't let
saying.
something
Don't
go.
think.
I'm not saying to go homeless, y'all.
That's what
Okay.
I'm trying to say. Like, don't, like, we're not saying. But if you think you believe this is the right path, it makes sense for you. It's sustainable. It's making money,
Go for it.
giving you a shelter over your head. You know, like a roof over your head. Exactly. Go for it.
Go for it. I
Mm-hmm.
almost think
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to put this out there. It's gonna be a little controversial, but I almost think the ones that are choosing to just stay stuck are the ones that failed instead. But I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it in the air.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
So the
leave it in
ones
the
that
air because I
refuse.
feel people are gonna come for me.
Oh.
Just leave it in the air. Tammy didn't say it. Mello said it, guys, for the record. Okay, so don't go on her. I said it. Okay, because I feel like you have chosen to just stay stuck and unhappy, and you should never live a life staying stuck and unhappy. Okay. Let me be mellow for a second and not mean mellow. Okay,
Okay.
even if, like I made that statement, I feel like you're the failure for choosing to stay stuck. Even if it is something that you're doing on the side because you know you
Mm-hmm.
don't like that job, but you know that's paying your bills, then to
Mm-hmm.
me, you're not a failure because you're still working on your happiness. But you see, if you are just
Mm-hmm.
sitting there and you know those people who get up every day and they're miserable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I went to this grocery, we were at Costco, okay? I told you I work as a CYW and clients. So we were at Costco getting their groceries and stuff. And me and my partner are there. And this lady's checking us out. And it was something so simple as in, like, I think it was like the bills or splitting or whatever. But she was just miserable with us, like from the get go. Like, okay, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, no, I can't break it. Okay, but. And I remember, first of all, you know, old Mel, I would have been talking back, but I did it. You'd be so proud of me, Tammy.
Oh, no
You'd be so proud
way.
of
Look at you
me. I
have
didn't get raw. I did it.
grown. The
You took a
growth
second.
and that.
And I just like walked away from her. We just like paid it. And him and I are talking about it. And I was like, she's just miserable. Like you can tell that she's just
Mm-hmm.
unhappy with where she is. And like we shouldn't take it personal. And he was
Mm-hmm.
kind of on the same page, like, yeah, that's why I didn't say anything to her. Like it's almost like we
Right.
both stood that like you are just miserable with your job.
Right.
What I mean is when you, to me, that's failure. When you're choosing to just sit there, or people that get up in the morning, you see them hit their snooze button like 10 times. They get in the
Mm-mm.
car, they have to get like 6 coffees because they just can't bear
Mm-mm.
to get themselves to go through this job. Then they get to the job, people are saying hi to them. They're like, please don't talk to me. It's like, okay, you need to go.
Yeah,
This is
exactly. Like, why? Why are you putting yourself through that? I
not
just finished telling you have one life. Make it good. Make it happy. It's your life. No one is telling you to stay there.
it.
And if you're like, okay, but how? Okay, yeah, stay there because it's paying your bills, but at the same time, look for other ways to get out of it, right?
Yes, exactly. All right.
Like,
We are hitting close to the end. He's been slapping this up. Tammy, you're Laughing it up. I love it. I love it. Okay. So this is the last question I'm gonna get from Tammy tonight, y'all. And then I gotta let her be free. She got a life, Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys.
So, and we also have her till 9, including y'all. Well, technically we're supposed to be here till like 8. So we're all
Okay.
pairing together. Is it a weekday? No, tomorrow's the weekend. Okay,
It's
good.
the weekend.
Hey, okay.
Girl, you showing too much.
Girl, as if there's a lot there to be showing. Come on now. Okay, I was playing. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's focus. So let's discuss. That was so bad. This Tammy.
I'm dying.
Okay.
I'm dying.
So this last one, I want us to quickly discuss to end this all out. We've been talking about self-identity, right? I want to talk about self-identity versus denial really quick.
Okay.
So there's such thing as self-denial. And I feel like it is a big part of self-identity. Personally, I'll just start. What I have noticed with it, me personally in myself, was when I denied the fact of realizing that I did not want to work with infants in a daycare center. Part of the denial, I'm about to get deep, Tammy. I just realized, oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Okay, take your time. All right.
For me was, as I have mentioned before, I don't know if you knew this, but as you mentioned before, I was supposed to be a mom. I didn't do it. Drop the bomb. And I feel like part of the denial for me was I didn't feel like I deserved to be watching someone else's babies on like a deeper level. You get what I mean? It was almost like I was denying myself the right or that ability to seem fit in that way because I did it to my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's deep.
I realized now it was affecting my self-identity at this job, even though people were telling me you're great. Like the mothers loved me, the babies were great. Like I loved the job. So this was a job that was a 2-minute drive from my house. Like it was a dream. My car, I was
even
there.
on gas.
What? It was everything. It was paying me well. Like it was doing everything at the time. It was doing everything great for me. But that denial, that self-denial that came in, it made me leave the job. Like one day I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm just gonna go work something else. I let them know I was going into the medical field. I was going into long-term care homes, Rivera. But I remember having that moment. So I want to propose to you, like, have you ever noticed that like denial can really strip you of your self-identity at a job, a career, or anything like that? It doesn't have to be you personally, just like
I'm just thinking in general. Yeah, it can. Yeah, because for instance, you just gave yourself an example, which was deep, by the way. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks,
yeah. But of course, yeah, like people were trying to avoid working or going into that field because of like maybe past trauma, right? Or maybe like a good example also, it could be like a firefighter. People doesn't want to be a firefighter because like someone passed away in the fire or something like that. Like they feel like they won't be able to save them, or even like you might work in that field and then you just can't anymore because you're in denial because you feel like you're not good enough. It's tough, but it's hard for me to give more insight on it because I don't hear it out. Like I hear here and there, and I can see where they're coming from when they're explaining it. But it's out there. It's real. Like the denial, and it's something to work on too. It's something to work on because especially if you truly love that job, but something so deep it's preventing you.
It's like gut wrenching. Like every day you go to work, like I shouldn't be here. It's that feeling. I've experienced it before.
But you shouldn't. Yeah.
But my thing, what I will say about it though is I feel like I robbed myself in the end. You get what I mean? And that's why I'm putting it out there and making myself vulnerable. I don't want, that's an extreme case. There are other extreme cases, but I for the raws listening and the extras, everybody's listening, I never want you to feel like you are not good enough for something. You are good enough altogether.
Everything, anything.
Anything, any career. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you feel like you can't do. It doesn't matter, oh, I didn't go to school. People are killing it who haven't gone to school. People who have gone to school are struggling. It depends, right?
Yeah.
Like it just depends. Don't ever feel like self-denial in yourself in any way, shape, or form, or even like a lighter one, like just being like models. Models go through it all the time. They are
You're right.
gorgeous, but that self-denial in
They're
their brains, put a little bit of extra makeup on this forehead and make sure it's thick to cover up the one pimple I have right here. I am not good enough anymore now
because the fear of judgment, everything comes through their
right?
mind.
So like, no, you guys can kill ish. Just kill stuff at all times. Don't hold your back. Don't, that self-denial. It does happen sometimes. You'll hear it in your ear. You got to build a way. My counselor used to say this thing, and I'm gonna share
yourself.
She used to say to me, think of like an airport, right? Oh, here we go. Think of an airport and the baggage is going through, and there's one area where the baggage is not. Those are no's, and this is yes in your mind. And she's like, what you do with those self-denial thoughts, those negative thoughts, is as it's coming down, you just pick it up and put it on the other bear belt.
Yeah.
And it's going to the no thanks, and you're just gonna let it continue to go with the rest of the ones. And that's what I want the visual to put out there. Like when you have that moment when you're like, okay, I'm not good enough for this. Check yourself and be like, okay, but I am good enough for it because I'm here. 1, 2, I actually made it here. 3, they actually qualify. And 4, I'm gonna get
you made it this far. Exactly. Keep it going. You got this. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you don't have the support system, you can still go for it.
You can also find yourself. There's so many like servers and other places and Discords now where you can find your own community if you feel like you don't have one. Okay.
Nice.
Don't feel like you are alone. Like Tammy said, the technology and everything that they have provided before, where you had to literally go sit with a counselor and talk, you can do this stuff on.
There's just so much. It's unbelievable. This is why I feel like there's not to say there shouldn't be any excuses, but there's so many ways, there's so many options.
There's no excuses. I said it. For Tammy, there are no excuses. I mean, like
there's so many options. I guess the words, there's so much options. Like
yes.
Yeah. Everyone is on their phone, so I'm just saying.
Okay, y'all, I'm about to let Tammy free. This was Raw Talk with Melo. Tammy, you killed it, my girl. You killed it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me here. It was
fun.
Of course.
With poise and respect, and you kept it straight, which I know you to be, which I love and honor and respect. I am so proud of you. Again, a little flight.
Oh, thank you.
Walking through the airport.
Is that going to be our thing now?
It's going to be our thing now. Especially I'm like, Tammy, what up, girl? No, but to the Raws watching, I just want to take this moment where we do this thing, Tammy, at the end is I give you the opportunity, and I do it as well, to say if there's one thing out of everything we discussed today that you want people to take from this, what would it be?
Whatever you're doing right now, you're doing a great job. Keep it going. Don't stop now, okay? Because you are shining. You got this. Stay good. Yeah. Exactly.
For me, what I would literally say is I had mentioned before, do not deny yourself of your greatness. Very simple. So it's pretty much the same thing Tammy's saying. Do not deny yourself your greatness. Just don't.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tammy, where can people find you if you would like them to find you? Is the IG anything you want them to be able to find you at, or are you just coasting and you're good?
Well, I mean, we'll see. But you can definitely find me on Instagram. That's where most of people are. Which are at. Yeah, my at is Tammy with 2_DV. I'm assuming Mel will put
the
link down there if you can't find me. And we'll see. We'll see if I'll add you or not. I'm just kidding. We'll see. We're
gonna have to see if you can get a piece of it. No, I'm just playing.
I'm just kidding. We'll see.
Alrighty, guys. And for me, you already know this is your girl Melo from Raw Talk with Melo, and you can find me on IG at Raw Talk with Melo. It's literally Raw Talk with Melo with dots in between. You can't miss it. You can't mess it up. You got it, okay? And on YouTube, it is at Raw Talk with Melo. The Raw, the Talk, and the Melo are all the caps, okay? All right, guys, I always tell you guys 2 things, and that is spread love and always keep it raw. And me and Tammy are out, but thank you guys so much. All right, y'all. Bye.